My best friend said, my autistic son was a bad influence. Then the police showed up at her door. My 14-year-old son used to be inseparable from my best friend's daughter. Same grade, same friend group, hangouts every weekend. Then I mentioned my son's autism diagnosis during a casual coffee chat. Just told her, like you tell someone about a peanut allergy or that your kid needs glasses. She went silent. Then she says, is it contagious? Like, can my daughter catch it from being around him? I actually laughed because I thought she was joking. She wasn't joking. Within 2 weeks, every group hangout suddenly became family only. Every gathering was mysteriously full. My son would refresh Instagram 40 times a day watching his former best friend post stories with their entire friend group. He'd ask me what he did wrong, if he could apologize, if maybe we could just show up anyway. 12 years of friendship gone because my best friend decided autism was somehow contagious. My son started spending lunch period in the library, not because he wanted to, because the other kids would literally get up and move tables when he sat down. I found out from another mom that my ex-best friend had been running a whole campaign, telling parents my son was unpredictable and hard to manage, that their kids should keep their distance. But here's the thing that broke me. He was desperate to get back into that group. His ex-best friend had become the queen bee, throwing parties every weekend with kids from other schools. My son convinced himself that if he could just get invited to one party, everything would go back to normal. He'd spend hours picking out outfits he'd never wear, practicing conversations he'd never have. I finally cornered my ex-best friend at Target, asked her directly why she was destroying a kid who used to call her auntie. She didn't even blink. I'm protecting my daughter from bad influences. You should understand that. Bad influences. My son who builds terrariums and knows every dinosaur species. I told her she was teaching both our kids the wrong lesson. She smiled and said, my daughter has a 4.0 and 50 Instagram followers per post. Maybe focus on helping yours fit in better instead of blaming me. Then she walked away. That night, I drove past her house around 10 p.m. There was a party happening. Cars everywhere. Music loud enough to hear from the street. I sat in my car and watched a kid stumble into their bushes and throw up. Watched my ex-best friend's daughter collect cash at the door, charging $10 for entrance. My son had cried himself to sleep 2 hours earlier because another girl told him he'd never be normal enough. This was the crowd he thought would save him. I drove by the next weekend and saw the same thing. A raging party with underage kids. At 11 p.m., I watched my ex-best friend's daughter hand something to a group of boys that I'm 90% sure wasn't candy. My son had been begging me to reach out one more time, to ask if he could please come to the next party. He thought this was his ticket back to happiness. I thought about my ex-best friend's words, protecting my daughter from bad influences. The irony was suffocating. That's when I picked up my phone and called the non-emergency police line. Anonymous tip, underage party at this address, possible drug and alcohol use. They said they'd send someone to check it out. I went home, checked on my sleeping son, and waited. The police showed up. I know because my ex-best friend called me, clearly having a breakdown. Someone called the cops on them. The police found pot, pills, alcohol, everything. My daughter is in handcuffs. 6 other kids too. Can you believe someone would do this to children? I made my voice drip with sympathy. Oh my god, that's horrible. Who would call the cops on kids just having fun? She was sobbing. Her daughter's record, her college applications, everything ruined. All because some vindictive person couldn't stand to see her daughter thriving. You know what's crazy though? I said, keeping my voice light. You always said you were protecting your daughter from bad influences. Guess you can't protect them from themselves. Silence. Then she hung up. My son heard about the party bust at school. All those kids facing charges, suspensions, the whole nightmare. He asked me, Mom, what if I'd been there? What if they'd invited me and I'd gone? I sat him down and told him the truth, that I'd called the cops, that I'd watched those parties and knew they were dangerous, that I'd rather be the villain who kept him safe than the cool mom who let him get arrested. His eyes went wide. You protected me. I nodded. My son hasn't mentioned wanting to be popular since. He eats lunch with 2 kids from his art class now. My ex-friend and I haven't spoken since that phone call.